Good morning, Shaun. It's Grant. I just want to wish you a happy new year and a healthy new year. I hope everything is okay. All right? Happy New Year to you. I love you. Bye-bye.
This special episode of Shaun Spins is brought to you by Harris Pilton for all your vinyl and British humor needs.
You look good in my dress. Get your friends to clean the mess. You look good in my clothes. I could be where the doctor goes. My beautiful son. My beautiful son. My beautiful son. My beautiful son. He had ribbons in his hair, and lipstick was everywhere. You look good in my dress. You look good in my dress. My beautiful son. My beautiful son. My beautiful son.
Hey, welcome to Shaun Spins. This is episode 52, and I'm your host, Shaun, and I hope everyone is safe and well. What is the producer yelling about? What? We have some letters from viewers? Really? Did you screen these? Like, you want me to read them? Seriously? You screened them? Looks like I wasn't invited to the New Year's Eve gathering. Let's read them. First one. What takes you so long to make these Next letter. You did not read over these, did you? Not another 9. Well, episode 52 took a bit to put together, and it's on Hole's second album from 1994. Let's get started.
Yeah, they really want you. They really want. Hey, zombie, zombie, zombie. I'm just a sucker with no self-esteem. Oh, hey, oh, yeah, yeah. I don't love you. I don't tempt you.
Seems really weird saying 1994 was 30 years ago. Feels like yesterday to me. So here's our record for today. This is a repress I got recently of Hole's second album from 1994, Live Through This. And I have the original CD that I got pretty much the week it came out. And I remember when I got the CD, I also picked up Live's second album. I believe that was their second album at the time. So I picked up Hole and the band Live on the same day. And I've always really enjoyed this album. And I've enjoyed Hole's first album, Pretty on the Inside, also. I believe I got Live Through This first, and then I found a copy of Pretty on the Inside. I kind of remember that was not easy to find because that was on Caroline Records, and Live Through This is on Geffen. So where I bought the repress, I had originally, years and years ago, the same store, I'm going to say around 2007, had a copy from Germany from the 90s, and I wanted to get it back then, like in the 2000s when I found it, around 2007 or so. And I remember knowing that it was from a different country because of the different Geffen logo on it at the time, and then the fact that it was pressed on vinyl at that time in the 90s. I was like, this is not from the United States. Well, I never got it. And when I bought the repress said made in Poland on the back. And I said something to the owner. I said, I remember like 15, 20 years ago, you had a copy from Germany, an original one. And he literally said to me, he's like, you made the right choice not getting that. It sounded not too good. So that was interesting to hear, and I guess it's for the good reason that I didn't pick it up all those years ago. So I really enjoy this album. I really enjoy the band Hole. As I said, I have a copy of Pretty on the Inside. I have a copy of Live Through This on CD. I got it like the week it came out. I remember getting the compilation My Body, the Hand Grenade. And I got Celebrity Skin. And if I'm not mistaken, I think my grandmother gave me that for the holidays one year. Now, Celebrity Skin is a whole different story just because, the band changed and whatnot. We'll get to that in a minute. So anywho, the band Hole has always been Courtney Love as the front person and Eric in the band. Now the biggest difference between Celebrity Skin and Live Through This is the rhythm section changed with Christian on bass and vocals and other instruments and Patty on drums. Now Patty has to be one of my favorite drummers of all time. I love Patty playing the drums. I love it. Just love it. And one of the biggest arguments I hear about Live Through This, pretty much I would say since it came out, is I've heard so many people say, I wonder if Kurt Cobain helped write the songs. I wonder if Kurt Cobain helped write the songs on that album. And to me, the songs, yeah, they're different than Pretty on the Inside, but they still have this rhythm driving force to the guitar playing that's exactly the same from Live Through This. It still has like Courtney's lyrics. It still, to me, is Whole. The biggest difference to me, and as I said, why I've never thought, Kurt Cobain helped write these songs, the biggest difference for me is Patty and Christian in the band. Big difference. Big difference. During this time for Live Through This, the only song I can think of that, I would say, which is definitely true that Kurt Cobain worked on is, Courtney Love doing her version of the song Old Age, which is a Kurt Cobain song, which appeared on My Body, the Hand Grenade. Which I feel as though, I really enjoy this album, yet the only track I think kind of doesn't belong there is the last one called Rockstar or Olympia. I think it would have been interesting if they took off Rockstar and put Old Age there. You also have a cover of Young Marble Giants on here too, which might be the first time I ever heard of that band. So the record, the vinyl repress sounds really good. My little comparison between it and the CD, it sounds not as intense. The CD is very intense, like a lot of sound coming at you, and the record sounds more natural. And sometimes I don't say that when I'm comparing records and CDs. Sometimes I can't hear a difference. I can hear a little difference in this, and I do prefer the vinyl. Now, my biggest complaint with the vinyl, the front cover is still here, and the back cover is still here with this label maker that I think all of us pretty much experienced growing up, that you would turn that wheel and... So the artwork is still here from front and the back. So my biggest complaints is all the artwork on the inside is missing. There's no book, just a black vinyl with the Whole logo, which was on the CD originally. But the CD booklet itself, the booklet is missing, and it's really sad. Another thing they did really interesting is the side of the CD has the Whole logo with the Live Through This font. The record, I don't know what kind of font they were going for. It just looks awful. Just awful. I really wish the artwork was included. As an artist, I really enjoy art that goes with records. And, pre-internet, it was kind of a way to get to know the band, like, be it photographs of the band or designs and art to go with the band, such as all the stuff that came from 4AD Records. And especially someone like Courtney Love, Pretty on the Inside has collages in the inside. I can't imagine if that was missing. So for the artwork to be missing from Live Through This, it just makes no sense to me. No sense. Here's some of the artwork here from Live Through This. And it's just upsetting to me that future buyers of this vinyl repress, might not know that the artwork existed inside. They might just think, oh, it just had a front and back cover and that's it. Like, no, it had great artwork inside of it. And the pictures of the band. And I will tell you, when I saw that image for the first time of Kristen, I remember thinking this might be the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. So it's upsetting that the artwork is missing that goes with the music, which goes with the designs. The back cover does have the thank you section, which was in the booklet. The back cover here does not have that. And it also puts down, it's dedicated to the memory of Joe Cole. And I was thinking when I was reading this off of this the other day, I was wondering if, like, future buyers of this record will know who Joe Cole was. I can still remember watching 1991, the year punk broke, and seeing Joe Cole on the side of the stage. So, overall, I love the album. I love the band Hole. I think it's a great band. And as I said, I've never been part of that debate, did Kurt Cobain work on the songs in this? Courtney Love was making music before she met Kurt Cobain. Case in point. So if one is looking for an influence on the band, look no further than Celebrity Skin, which came out afterwards, the late 90s, maybe early 2000. That has different songwriters on it, and there's a big difference. Live Through This and Pretty on the Inside have a similar sound. It's a powerful band. I will tell you something interesting. All my life, every time I got to the song Gutless, I always thought it sounded so different. And, being a teenager and stuff, I guess I never really cared to look up who did what. I think when I was a teenager, the only thing I was interested in is if Steve Albini's name was on as like a producer or mixer or something. Like, oh, Steve Albini. I never realized that Gutless sounded so different because Jay Mascis worked on that track. Which makes sense. It has a different sound to it. It has a very early Dinosaur Jr. sound to it, like early 90s sound. So overall, I really, really recommend this repress of Live Through This. It's a great album. It's a great band. I'm like I said, I'm just a little upset about the artwork missing for future audiences. And one of the other things I keep thinking about is when people talk about, well, who wrote what and whatnot, I also thought about, when you're talking about influences on Courtney Love, be it fashion, I would say guitar playing, even guitars being used, look no further than Cat from Babes in Toyland. I would even say that Minneapolis had a huge influence on Courtney Love and the band Hole. Not just Babes in Toyland with Courtney Love being around that band and Cat, yet Kristen being in Janitor Joe and the connection to Minneapolis. So I would say Minneapolis had a huge influence on the band Hole. Huge. And one of the most beautiful things I find about the band Hole is just the influence it had on so many people to pick up guitars. I remember seeing young women picking up guitars and ladies picking up guitars and starting to make music, and it's a beautiful thing. Her lyrics are intense, and her songwriting is intense, and as I said, it has this very rhythm feel to it. It's great stuff. Here's my final thoughts for episode 52. Hole's second album, Live Through This, it's great. It's a great album. It's hard to believe it's 30 years old. Courtney Love is a great songwriter. She's an interesting guitar player, too. Plays very interesting parts on the guitar. As I said earlier, very rhythm-driven, kind of almost like drum parts. Eric is a great guitar player. He's amazing. I feel as though he doesn't get enough credit in the world of guitars. Patty has to be most likely one of my favorite drummers ever. Kristen is amazing on the album. The backing vocals, too, and it's really sad what happened to her. And I say it all the time, if you struggle with substances, there is a better way to live, and there is help out there. So until next time, hope everybody's safe and well, and be nice to each other and take care.
Hello, this is a loyal subscriber to Shaun Spins. I have a complaint. Your last video about